Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 days challenge. And this is finally day 1000 itself, as you can see. Alright, so unfortunately, even though I did hit 1000 days, I'm still not able to sustain this in terms of a full-time career in terms of trading wise. But nonetheless, I definitely did learn a lot throughout these 3 years plus period itself. I mean, close to 3 years, not 3 years, simply because it's just 1000 days. But bearing in mind, I did definitely learn a lot of things, both in terms of trading, risk management, target and profit, in terms of entry, exit, stop losses, and stuff like that. And both in terms of various trading strategies, sticking to what strategy works, what strategy doesn't work, what kind of market condition, what kind of market structure, and what sort of exit and trading stop loss or fixed target profit, and all these kind of entry and exit kind of ways and methodology to manage your trade. So basically, in terms of trade management wise, and also in terms of execution wise, handling the psychological aspect. So many things I did learn along the 1000 days period itself. So definitely, I will be taking a short break in this coming month. So right now it's almost the end of April itself. So I'll be taking a break in terms of May itself to revamp this entire challenge once again. And I'll be relaunching this 1000 days challenge on the second part by taking around approximately at the very maximum of 1 month break, which means I'll start latest by 1st of June. But other than that, I do intend to potentially start earlier, but I'm going to revamp in terms of how I'm going to run this on a daily basis, both in terms of update wise. Could be just a shorter clip in terms of what I learned, what I progresses on a day-to-day basis, and then maybe on a weekly or maybe even on a monthly basis to get a more detailed update. So I do realize that along the day, when I do a day-to-day update itself, the update from day to day isn't that much of a great concern, especially since I do view on the daily chart itself. So in terms of perspective of that, it may not be much of a concern, which is why you can see over time period itself. The reason why I actually have so many columns is previously I did update the monthly, weekly, daily market structure itself, but over time it comes into circle inbuilt into me. So they actually get inculcated into me in terms of viewing market structure, understanding what market structure is, and also being able to just internalize what market structure is so that I'm able to enter particular buyers on be whichever time frame that I'm trading in that sense. All right, so that's something to take note of. All right, so anyway, with that said, let's get right back into the update for one last day itself. And then after that, I will round off this 1000 days challenge itself, along with also providing updates in that sense. All right, so moving on in terms of so very beginning in terms of S&P 500, overall short-term momentum-wise, definitely do lean towards downside for US equity market right now. But bear in mind that the bullish market structure still remains intact, especially if we're talking about Nasdaq. For even S&P 500, we still see high and higher high, low and higher low over here. So tentatively, this is potentially a double top itself, but that is not necessarily valid until we break below here. So otherwise, this is still considered healthy retracement, finding support potentially over here. So that's definitely a good sign. Nasdaq is actually stronger. You can see it's bouncing off today. And you can see that this could potentially be a false break because we actually break below it. We didn't have a sustained momentum towards the downside. We maintained a little bit and then we are bouncing off from it. It will give you a very good sign because we actually previously consolidated right above here, a false break over here, and potentially we could lead a very strong momentum for Nasdaq itself. So if you're talking about which terms of strength wise, if you're talking about trading wise, definitely I do lean towards Nasdaq. It can be seen very clearly that having this false break gives it the kind of spring momentum. It's basically like if you want to jump higher, you generally want to compress the spring harder first. And this kind of false break generally is led to a liquidity kind of a grab by people. And then once that liquidity grab has been done, they will be able to push the price towards the other side, with much less resistance in that sense. All right, and then moving along in terms of ASH itself, definitely still lean towards the further downside. I still do think that this target region of 2740 region is more likely to be hit before we see a very strong support. But of course, if there's a change in market structure on the daily chart, then I have to shift my bias in that sense. And yeah, in terms of KWAP itself, definitely short-term bounce is slightly. We've already hit this support region itself previously, acted resistance, break over it. We haven't retest over here. Why? So over you can see that we sort of bounced over here for yesterday and also today itself. Hopefully, we do see a stronger bounce, and we do break this downward kind of falling bullish wedge itself, then there will be a great sign. But otherwise, I still do think that even 2440 is a likely target to beat. All right, and then finally for Bitcoin itself, yesterday was definitely very choppy in both direction, especially with how the news of the collapse of the bank itself again. I wouldn't say okay, it's not official that it will collapse in terms of the First Republic Bank, but definitely a lot of chatter in terms of how it's going to be managed, and there was a precedence in terms of how future similar situation may be managed as well. So that's definitely a great concern itself. And what I mentioned yesterday or previously that I made the last trade, which was quite a bad trade simply because overall it's still a bullish market structure. So I should not be entering in terms of short setup itself, especially on the intraday frame, because that's definitely going against the major trend in terms of that. And in addition to that, overall you can see we're still bouncing over here. On the 4-hour chart, if you're looking to enter a long, I definitely wouldn't. So right now, due to this kind of choppy market structure, I will wait for a little while for things to settle down a little bit, at least on the daily time frame or shorter time frame to have a much clearer kind of a directional base before you enter a trade. Simply because when you have do this kind of choppy action, it results in very poor risk to reward setup. So ultimately, when it comes to trading, it's not just about the price you get in, but also knowing what price is suitable for you to get out, both in terms of upside and downside itself. So that gives you a very good risk to reward. And without that risk to reward is one thing of the expect. But bear in mind that if you have a poor risk to reward setup, then definitely you will have to compensate by having greater kind of a probability that you are right, which is something that is very hard to take place if you have a poor risk to reward setup. And basically the correlates in that sense. All right, but anyway, that's more or less about it. So I've come to the end of this 1,000 day challenge. It's definitely a very good and amazing experience that I had. And yeah, and what I mentioned a few days ago, I did actually bought a Mac computer as well. But right now, I'm not recording on that as well, simply because I'm still trying to set things up over there. So definitely, in terms of the new 1,000 day challenge, it will be done over in the new on my new desktop itself, so things will definitely run a lot faster. But let's see how things goes. I'll be trying to run a few different plans and layouts in terms of how I want to run it more efficiently. Main thing is not to bother down in terms of the time I take to actually edit or even upload this video, but basically just a very quick daily update along with very regular weekly or even bi-weekly or even monthly updates whereby it shows the status and progress, or when I do see particular trade setup that is beautiful in any of the crypto itself, then definitely that's something I'll share. And that's basically more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, again, feel free to drop by and leave your comments below. But otherwise, this has basically been just a personal log that I wanted to do and to actually push myself to challenge it out. And not so much in terms of gaining subscribers wise or even in terms of growing the channel, but basically using it as a platform for me to document my experience and also in terms of getting myself motivated and keeping to the target that I do aim for. All right, with that said, I've come to the end of today, and I'll see you guys pretty much soon. But it'll be all new challenge again. And with that said, and that's it. And see you guys. Bye bye.